in thinking of that metaphor of the foothills and the mountains, is there a role in seeking psychotherapy in the pursuit of Vedanta? If so, what do you think that would be?
Sure. The pursuit of Vedanta is for the one who is a highly competent achiever, who has been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, taken the selfie, posted it on Instagram, and still wants more in life.
Yeah.
So, but just because of the punya that exists in our lives, we might not have the required maturity or what is often referred to as qualifications in Vedanta. And we have just parachuted into the pursuit. So the qualification to learn Vedanta is to have a mastered mind, the one for whom the mind is an instrument for one's pursuits. But we find ourselves struggling with our minds and our lives. And therefore, any method that helps us, which includes psychotherapy, is valid. One of my Vedanta students who lives in the United States started going for couple therapy sessions after 25 years of marriage. And she jokingly said, Swaminiji, now we are bona fide Americans because all of us are in therapy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the truth is, of course, that all of us need warmth and acceptance. All of us need connection and meaning in our lives. All of us need to heal from some of the fractures that have taken place in our lives. I mean, these are all non-negotiable for self-mastery. And yes, there are many ways to heal. Every culture has healing practices. One can anchor oneself on dharma, one can do asana pranayama, nurture meaningful relationships, relate with Mother Nature. One can chant, worship, pursue music, dance, the arts. All of these are very, very healing for the human spirit. Yeah. But in our blind pursuit of wealth and pleasure exclusively, a lot of these healing processes in the culture have been lost, or we don't pursue them consistently. And actually, they are looked down upon and sort of relegated to the la-la land of New Age spirituality.
Yeah.
So, but what is good about psychotherapy is that there is a formal framework. The healing process is nicely structured, and it can be used as a supplement in the pursuit of Vedanta. So like other healing methods, it can help to restore some balance in the person's life. Of course, the final healing can only happen in Vedanta.
Sure. Meaning finding your fullness or your wholeness.
That's right.
Okay. So that formalization of having that place of acceptance and healing is useful in a context where we no longer get that through culture and arts and these different, maybe family, etc.
Yes. And I would also think that the psychologist or psychotherapist will introduce some of these into the person's life. Because every person needs some healing practices which have been lost in the culture or which have been relegated in the background. Yeah. And so, I mean, a good psychotherapist would do that anyway.
Yeah, and it does seem like mainstream psychology, well, is still, there's a lot of wrong with mainstream psychology, but I think there is a new wave of psychology that is really integrating arts and spirituality and all these different perspectives into therapy as well. You mentioned transpersonal psychology and maybe Jungian psychology as well. That's a little bit older, but
yeah, true.
Yeah,
psychotherapy can help a Vedanta student. In fact, I have recommended it to some people. If a student is not able to internalize the attitude of acceptance and equanimity in life, despite a few years of Vedanta study. Yeah. So that could be one. Or there have been experiences of trauma that require processing and which cannot be done in a collective class situation.
Yeah.
Now, there will be very few gurus who have a background in psychology. So the guru Or the guru may choose that I am not going to engage too much on the psychological matters. My job is to teach, and that's it. And the guru has a right to say that. Of course, most traditional gurus will have a very good understanding of psychology. And I don't necessarily mean Western psychology, just psychology of the human mind, the way the mind works, and so on. And then another possibility where it would help the student of Vedanta to seek therapy would be if one is going through a life transition, like the sudden death of a loved one. Like I had one person who experienced 3 deaths in 2 years. And there's just so much time that I could spend with her. And so I said, no, I think, for this grieving process, you do need, you need some special time with the special person. Or if suddenly one gets a diagnosis of a terminal illness, or one is going through a divorce. So these kinds of life transitions may require additional support through psychotherapy.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. But coming back to that role of sitting with the guru, that's transformative in itself. And as Vedanta students, we miss that.
That's right. And also, the psychotherapist is not the guru. I mean, it's very clear about it. Right? So the psychotherapist will help you manage life. But to see that you are the basis of all life, only a guru can help.
Right.
Yeah. So the psychotherapist has a role.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And not being a guru doesn't take away from that role. It's a very important role to play.